Hey everyone, welcome to Reality TV News Update, the place where you never miss a moment from your favorite shows. Plus, an incredible behind-the-scenes moment, and Stephen Fishbach calls out one contestant. The preview for this week's episode of Survivor 50 is one spicy meatball. You have Tiffany calling Jonathan a lying skank. You have Jonathan and Dee going at it in front of the entire tribe. You have Chrissy dubbing someone unhinged. Additionally, Coach has made an incredible assortment of statements to contestants and viewers, including, "You want to draw a line in the sand? It's war. I'm angry. The Dragon Slayer has returned. Screw them. I will obliterate you." Oh my. It would appear that the blood moon harm has been done. However, that is far from the only cause of the contestants' confusion. It also has a lot to do with this being a returning player season. Now, it should be noted that as great as all-star seasons like Heroes vs. Cambodia and The Villains are, in a sense, not Survivor at all, at least not the original concept, which was to put strangers on an island together without knowing each other and see what happens. Survivor 50 is about as far away from that as you can imagine. Due to things like Zoom, FaceTime, and the proliferation of weekly watch parties, this season was the most pre-gamed season in the history of the franchise, even if most players did not want to admit to it. On one hand, that's too bad, because these multiple pre-game alliances go directly against the original vision of the game and show. On the other hand, they can often lead to much more dramatic television when those previous friendships and off-island alliances, or at least understandings, are broken. Look at how personally hurt Mike White and Angelina were when fellow David vs. Goliath tribemate Christian Hubicki orchestrated their demise. You think they would have been so upset if it had been some rando who just swapped onto their beach one day prior? There's no chance. When you bring those friendships from off the island to the island, it hits you much harder than when a stranger with whom you have no prior relationship simply outduels you. Go back to the very first returning player season in All-Stars and look how pissed players got at Boston Rob, utterly enraged. Check out the way Ozzy went off on Cook Island's pal Parvati when she blindsided him out of Micronesia. It hurts to get voted out of Survivor. It hurts even more when the hand that stabbed you in the back is that of a friend. However, it makes for riveting television. This is the inherent beauty of a returning player season. It isn't just amplified gameplay, it's amplified emotions and drama as well. And when pre-existing friendships, agreements, alliances, and understandings are broken, it's time for us viewers to simply eat our favorite Applebee's dish. And judging by that preview, this upcoming episode looks to be an absolute feast. Okay, we've got an incredible collection of exclusive behind-the-scenes goodies for you, so let's get to it and open up this week's Survivor 50 mystery box to see what's inside. Toasting a true Survivor legend. Okay, this is super cool. At this point, you probably all know about the Dream Team, which, among other things, tests challenges for Survivor. You may not be aware that working on the Dream Team frequently doubles as an important stepping stone to other roles on the crew. In fact, the Survivor 50 crew included an incredible 50 Dream Teamers at the outset. That is insane. So when challenge producer John Kirchhoffer puts someone on the Dream Team, he is not only giving them a job, he is often setting them up for a career on the coolest TV show on the planet. Anyway, a few days before filming on Survivor 50 began, Jeff Probst and the crew decided to surprise Kirchhoffer before a challenge rehearsal and paid tribute to the man that has been there since Episode 1, Season 1 of the show, with his current and former Dream Teamers all toasting the legend. This is the kind of amazing stuff you don't see on the show about the incredible people on the other side of the camera that make it all happen. When crew members on Survivor talk about it being a family, this is what they mean. And it is unlike any other TV crew in the business in that these folks are living together 24/7 and working in absolutely wild conditions. and observe the genuine happiness on Probst's face as he watches his friend, with whom he has worked for 50 seasons, receive a standing ovation from the people whose dreams he helped realize. Simply awesome. You deserve it, Kirchhoffer. Yet another Camilla photo. I swear, Camilla, who is so expressive, is the subject of every photo I took while participating in Survivor 50. I feel like her face always has a story to tell, which is why you keep seeing her pop up in the mystery box. Anyway, in this shot that I took on the original Callow on day 2 of the game, Camilla looks very intense. I don't know why she looks so intense, because she was cracking herself up both before and after this picture while torturing Mike White over stepping on a hermit crab. Stephen Fischbach contributes. Stephen Fischbach has become all fancy on us, and I don't know if you all know this or not. He has gone from 0-vote Survivor finalist, the best 0-vote Survivor finalist as voted on by the fans, to severe gastrointestinal distress victim to acclaimed author. Escape is his debut novel, is a must-read look at reality television that is even more insane than anything you've seen on Survivor. But even with accolades and book sales piling up for the contestant-turned-author, he still found time to step in and out of the Survivor 50 mystery box. Check out Fischbach's take on the Blood Moon twist in the video below, as well as his shocking pick for Loser of the Week. After that, purchase the man's book. It is truly amazing. The Last Words. An outtake that was not included in my interview with Colby before the game. I don't know of anyone on this beach who frightens me. The game does. The evolution of the game intimidates me. Am I going to be able to pick up on and adapt quick enough? That is the secret. An unpublished portion of my pre-game interview with Genevieve regarding whether she had any regrets regarding Survivor 47. Honestly, no, and I think I'm really lucky in that way, as I didn't leave Survivor with the bad case of shoulda, coulda, what-ifs. In retrospect, I am very content with the fact that I did my best with everything that was going on. An outtake that did not make it into my pre-game interview with Camilla on why she wanted to work with Joe on Survivor 50. Because people don't know that we worked together on 48, and we can hopefully play up the fact that he hates me. I lied to him multiple times. I can play up the fact that I'm sick of his honesty and integrity bullshit, and I don't want that in the game. Whatever. I think Joe and I could collaborate. Screenshots of the week. Again, I can't decide which of Emily or Joe's reactions to Probst's recitation of the entire Applebee's menu was superior. They both have the appearance of a Blumhouse horror film. I am incapable of choosing. You all will have to cast your votes below to end this debate once and for all. Which screenshot from Survivor 50 is superior? Who had the better Applebee's reaction? Do you want to be informed about everything Survivor? Dig deep and sign up for Entertainment Weekly's free Survivor Weekly newsletter to have all the latest news, interviews, and commentary sent right to your inbox.
The crate arrived. No note, no instructions. After 20 days of alliances, backstabbing, and paranoia, all that was left was a bulky, weathered wooden box dropped in the middle of camp while the players slept, if you could even call it sleep. By the time the sun broke over the ocean, everyone was already on edge. "Did production leave this?" Tanya murmured, her arms tightly crossed as though the box might explode. Marcus responded, "Production doesn't do mystery this late in the game." "Everything right now is planned," Kira yelled. "Everything is planned from day one." The tone was set there. There were still 12 players. No trust, no patience. And now, this box. The opening. Jeff Probst arrived later than usual. That alone made people nervous. "Come on in, guys," he called, almost amused but unusually calm. "I see you found your morning surprise." Everyone laughed. Jeff pointed to the crate and said, "This is the Survivor 50 mystery box. There are items inside that have the potential to completely alter the game's course." A whisper spread. "Here's the twist," Jeff continued. "Together, you will open it. What you do with what's inside is entirely up to you." "Define items," Marcus pressed. Jeff just smiled. "Open it." What was within? Tanya and Leo pried the lid open. At first, no one spoke. Then, "What in the world is this?" Kira blurted. Inside the box were 3 occluded idols of immunity, 2 steal a vote advantages, 1 block a vote, a sealed envelope labeled "Expose One Secret," and the most perilous, a package of parchment with the title "Confession Transcripts" on it. Silence fell like a blade. "You're kidding," Marcus muttered. Jeff nodded. "Those transcripts are real, selected confessionals from each of you, things you've said about each other when no one else was listening." Now everyone stepped back, because suddenly this wasn't a game mechanic, it was a weapon. The first crack. "Nope," Kira said immediately. "We're not opening those." "Why not?" Leo shot back. She stated, "Because nothing good comes from that. We're barely holding it together as it is." "Speak for yourself," Leo replied. Marcus laughed dryly. "Yeah, easy for you to say, Kira. You've been running things." Kira abruptly turned. "Excuse me?" "Oh, come on," Marcus said. "Don't you think we've noticed?" The fracture then began instantly. The transcripts get opened. Tanya attempted to negotiate. "Guys, we are not required to—" Leo grabbed the bundle. "Let's stop pretending we trust each other." "Leo, don't," Tanya warned. "It is late." He tore the string and pulled out the first parchment. "Let's see. Marcus, I don't trust Leo at all. He's a snake and thinks he's smarter than everyone." An all-out oof. Leo smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "Good to know." Marcus shrugged. "You think that's news?" But he tightened his voice. "Next," Leo said. The spiral. One by one, the transcripts came out, each worse than the last. Tanya calling Kira manipulative and fake. Kira describing Marcus as dead weight with an ego. Leo admitting he planned to betray everyone at Final 6. Even quiet, kind Devin had said, "If I have to lie to their faces, I will. None of them matter." The air turned poisonous. "You said that about me?" Tanya demanded, eyes locked on Kira. "You said worse," Kira retaliated. "At least I said it in private. That's exactly why confessionals exist." "Guys," Devin tried, "this is exactly what they want." "No," Marcus interrupted, "this is who we are." The realization. Jeff merely observed, because it was no longer about advantages. The IDs? Forgotten. The votes? Irrelevant. This was about trust, and how quickly it evaporates when truth gets exposed. "You've all been lying," Leo said. "Every single one of you." "Welcome to Survivor," Kira snapped. "No," Leo said. "This is unique." He displayed a parchment. "You claimed that I was disposable." Kira didn't flinch. "You are." There are drawn lines. Alliances were torn apart in a matter of minutes. Marcus pulled Devin aside, forming a new, desperate duo. Kira was ignored by Tanya. Leo started hoarding the advantages from the box, and 2 players, Nina and Carlos, quietly slipped an idol into their bag while everyone argued. No one noticed because everyone was too busy with their rage. The coverlet. Devin picked up the sealed envelope amid the chaos. He read, "Expose One Secret." "Don't open that," Tanya warned. "Why?" Leo challenged. "We've already crossed the finish line." Devin hesitated. Later, he opened it. One card was contained within. "You are allowed to publicly reveal one unspoken fact about any player. If verified, they lose their vote at the next tribal council." The camp froze. "Who knows something?" Marcus asked slowly. Everyone looked at everyone else, and suddenly paranoia deepened into fear. The untold story. "I know something," Nina said quietly. All eyes were on him. Carlos shifted uncomfortably. Nina took a breath. "An idol was found by Carlos 3 days ago." Silence. Then, "What?" Tanya exhaled. Carlos stood up. "That's not—" "Check his bag," Nina said. Carlos lunged for it before he could react. Inside, an idol.
Real. Jeff nodded. That is a valid exposure. At the following tribal council, Carlos will lose his vote. Nina caught Carlos's eye. We were working together. She replied, were. Why, they're so pissed. By the time Jeff left, the damage was irreversible. It was no longer just the game. It was intimate. Because their private thoughts were exposed, their alliances revealed as fragile lies, their secrets became weapons, and their trust completely destroyed. Tanya sat alone by the water, shaking her head. She said softly, "This was supposed to be strategy." Kira, a few feet away, replied coldly, "It still is." Tanya said, "No, this is war." The final moment. As the sun set, no one cooked together, no one laughed, no one planned openly. Instead, whispers replaced conversations. Eyes were closed, and somewhere in the jungle, Leo clutched two advantages, smiling to himself. Because in disorder, he thrived. Back at camp, Marcus muttered under his breath, "This box didn't change the game." He surveyed the fractured tribe from all angles. It revealed it. And tribal council tomorrow evening? No one would know who to trust. None of them at all.